Hello everyone, this is Uday Sharma. I'm a software engineer at Radius. Today I'm going to show you how you can get started with open source, how you can make your first contributions and successfully raise a pull request. So we're going to talk all of it in this video. So let's get started. For this video, we are going to use Login Radius engineering platform as an example. So this is Login Radius engineering portal where you can find articles, blog posts on variety of technologies, and you can definitely learn a lot. And the best part about it is you can also contribute to it. Since this is an open source project on GitHub, so you can directly make contributions by writing blog posts for it. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, let's go to this repo. So this is Login Radius engineering portal main repository. I will be providing links to all of these projects in the description. Feel free to check it out. So before we can start contributing to any open source project, we can either be a direct collaborator on it or we are just an third outside contributor to it. So for now, I'm just an outside contributor. So I don't have access rights to it. So I'm going to use what's called forking the project. So I'm going to fork it. So this will basically create a copy of this project for in my account. So since I have already forked it, as I'm already a contributor and a collaborator as well. So let's go to it. Now we need to start making contributions to it. So what's the first thing we do? We clone the project. So we're going to use either SSH or HTTPS. So if you have never heard about SSH or you have no idea what it is, just go with the HTTPS and copy this URL. If you know and you have already got the SSH setup, just do this. I already have SSH set up on my system. I'm going to use this. Now we need to clone it in our local machine. So we say git clone and we paste the URL. So this will create a local copy of the project or fork and we can start contributing to it. So I've already have this set up. This will, based on your network, this will take some time to download project. So let's go to it. That's it. Now, when you first clone any of the project, you might be on a certain branch. For engineering portal, we are on master. This is a default branch on it. So every open source project has some contribution guidelines. So if you go to this engineering portal, you might see a contributing guideline. So here you can see this is contributing MD and some guidelines. Just like that, any other project will have it. And you might want to check it out. Here it clearly says that they ask us to create a branch from a dev branch, and that's where we can push our code or changes to. So that's exactly what we are going to do. We are going to first go to dev branch. So let's check out dev. We are on dev branch. Now we need to create a feature branch or a branch to for our own work. So I'm going to call it get check out hyphen v. Hyphen v is to create a new branch based on the current branch we are on. So I'm going to say demo blog. Woohoo! We got a new branch. Now I'm using VS Code, so I just you can open the project in any way you want. So I have this using VS Code and that. So I've already have this project open in my local. So here you can see there are variety of couple of directories. So here inside the blog we create folder for our own project. So for example, we have already created this folder by the name how to contribute to open source. Here it is. You just need to first create. So this will become the URL as they have already mentioned in the guidelines. You can check them out. So we create index.md file, and this is some better description about the post. This is the author and all, and here we have our content. Now, for the demo purpose, this blog post is not complete, so I highly discourage you to make these kind of spam pull requests. Don't do that. This is still work in progress, but for this purpose, I'm going to show you. and later on how we can further keep on contributing to our fork and keep pushing the changes to our pull request before it gets merged. Alright, so I've got this setup. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this. So we have already got it. We simply say git add. So dot will add all the files which currently we have, or you can just go to any of it and just directly, like for example, here if we say inside the root, we have a blog, so we say blog, and depending on it will just catch where what are the changes. So I'm going to just say git add, so it will add everything. Now I want to make a commit, so I'll say git commit initial draft of blog. Alright, so we have got this. Now we need to push our code to our GitHub, right? So we say git push origin, and here we need to provide at what branch we want to push. So we have already created a branch called demo blog. So we are going to push to this branch. Alright, I see we have already pushed. So depending upon your terminal or you might or might not see this. So when I push my changes to GitHub, it gives me this URL. Either I can directly click on it, copy it and paste browser. So here we can directly create a new branch, or what you can do is you can go to your fork from here. So we go to our fork, we'll see that we have pushed some changes here, and you will see this whether you want to create a pull request or not. So I'll go with this. You might not see this. So let's create a pull request. All right. So like in the contributing guideline, we saw that they this project wants us to create a branch based on dev and then again push our changes to the dev branch and not master. So please, whenever you contribute to any of the project, do see this because this is mandatory. Nobody likes spam, so please do check this out. We are going to select dev branch and search. So now from our demo blog branch on our fork, we want to create a pull request on the dev branch of our main repository, which is engineering portal, which is under login details. Alright, so now you can see something like this. You might see on a lot of projects. So this basically, I'll see the view so I can tell you what this is. So this is basically a checklist which they want us to fulfill before our branch can be merged or not. So yes, we created a branch from there. Alright, so this is how we do it. Simply, this is empty format. We say X. This is we have done. You see the previous. This is complete. A branch was raised on a dev branch. Obviously, we did all of that. Now, you see these are some guidelines. So let's see which we already read. We saw them. So this is basically you could see that meta. So this is how they are. For every project, there will be some guidelines and contributing guidelines. Please read them properly before you make contributions to any open source project. Don't just go there and create branches and make pull requests. Please don't do that. Alright. So now for now we didn't do it because this is just for demo purpose. But when you actually contribute, please do check them out and please follow all the guidelines. So for now I'm going to leave them blank. I've already showed you how to do them. You simply say X and this will check it out. You remove it and this means this is still incomplete. Now this is some description about the post. So we can say I have added a new blog post. Alright. So we'll provide what our changes, basically what our blog is. Now, when we want to, because you saw this is I write author and I write my name here. So they ask you to provide in some YAML format, so which you can definitely find on the guideline. We go guidelines. So this is an example like how they want us to provide the data. They have already provided information. So please provide the information as given in the guidelines. Alright, so now I'm just going to create a branch. And I'm also going to say, because this is just demo, I'm going to say this is okay. So let's create a pull request. This must please check this out. This is basically any edits which maintainers can make. So this makes the job of a maintainer very easy. Just do that, and we will create a pull request. Alright, so we got a pull request for our on branch to here. Please do update the title. This should be the title of your blog post. So right now this is in draft. I just did it for demo. Don't do it like this. Just write the blog completely and then only create a pull request. Alright, because right now this will be closed. This pull request will be marked as spam and it will be closed immediately, as you can see here, because checklist is not updated accordingly. So, but this is for demo. It's fine for now. Alright, so we have got this ready. Now, what if we want to keep adding our code to it? So all you have to do is you just write some code to it. For example, let's say the steps. For example, we get more time and we want to add it. The steps to make source. First step is basically we say, how we say, this is markdown format. You can check out how to write your content in markdown by just googling it. So I'm going to say first of the object first and some info about it. So I'm going to write just this for now. I'm going to show you. So we edit some content. Alright, something didn't work out. Okay, yeah, it works fine. Now we say commit and we write whatever commit we want. For example, and please don't make multiple commits, just make one commit for one pull request. Try to make it that way. But for now, this is for demo. I'm going to show it. Completed post. Let's say I'm making the next commit or I'm making updating my pull request on my local repo after I've completed the post. Alright. So now we push origin, say demo blog. We push to origin. What is origin? So origin is basically our local fog. So the fog which we created is called origin. We have access to it. Now if we go to our pull request, we see we got the complete blog post because you can see the changes here. We have added some data. Now there is one more thing. What if somebody makes some changes to the main repository? We want those changes as well, and this can happen with any open source project. So there is another thing called upstream. We say get remote add upstream. So upstream is basically from where we forked our project. In this case, we have our own fork which we created, and this is main repository. This is upstream. We go to it, and here we copy this code. Depending upon your case, just copy the HTTPS code. I'm going to use SSH, and I'm going to add an upstream. Now, since I already have upstream, so you can just, but this is the command to add it. Now we want the changes. So all I'm going to say is get fetch upstream, and let's say we want to get the dev branch. So we say dev. So upstream basically it fetches all the latest data, and from which branch we want. Upstream is basically the main repository. There's another thing called get fetch origin dev. So here origin is our fork. That's what origin is. When we fork some project, there are two things. There's an origin, there's an upstream. Upstream is the main repo, and origin is our own fork. Or if it's our own project, that's the origin. There is no upstream in that case. So that's what we use for to get the data from it, and we can accordingly just rebase it to get our changes. If we want to rebase our branch, get rebase, we say upstream, and we say go to get from the depth. Okay, so we got the changes. You can either pull it or rebase it. You can obviously find the information about it. So now we have seen it completely like how we created a pull request, and here you can see we have successfully raised a pull request. Somebody might see here, they might close it because this is clearly a spam, just don't do it. But this is for demo, so I showed you how to do it and how to make your contribution to this particular project. Every project has different needs, different guidelines. Please do follow them. So this was basically complete information about how you can get started in open source, how you can make your first contributions. And again, I highly discourage you to create any spam pull request. Please don't do that. Follow the guidelines properly, follow the contributing guidelines properly if the project has any. So please do that. And that's it for the project. So thank you. I hope you liked it, and thank you very much.